morning and welcome to the program Delta Women Drum Beat. The Delta Women Drum Beat is a program organized for you where we tackle difficulties in our society. On the program today, we will be looking at teenage pregnancy as our focus is the youth and the church. Don't forget you can be part of this program by dialing our number or send text to 090-321-74129, 081-230-27972, and on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Delta Women Drum Beat to leave your message. The program is Delta Women Drum Beat. Our topic is teenage pregnancy and our focus is the youth and the church. To discuss this topic with me, here's Pastor Rume Akbona. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, before we talk more on the topic today, let's listen to the voice of the youth. Stay tuned. Hello, good day, sir.
Yeah, good day, ma'am.
Please, I want to ask you a question.
All right.
Do you think the church is in the right position to teach the teenager about sex?
No.
Why?
Well, because every child somehow has a parent or a guardian, right?
Yes.
So the parents of the child or the guardian should be able to teach the child about sex, not the church.
So the church don't have the right to do that?
The church can teach the child to stay away from sex, stay away from fornication, not trying to teach the child about sex. If you tell a child to stay away from fornication, I believe it is moral and biblical. So the child should know that fornication is a sin. That makes the child to stay away from sin and at the same time sex.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you worship here?
Yes.
Okay, I'm here to ask you a question. What is your intake on churches that discuss sex to their youth?
Okay. Well, I don't say anything wrong with that.
Okay.
As churches, what I feel is that you must tell the people the right thing to do. And in regards to sex education, most parents, they find it very difficult to tell their children. So I think if churches can adopt it and tell the peoples or the congregation about it, and as well put it in line with the word of God, I think the people will be able to do the right thing, and all this sexual morality and all that is all over the environment will change for good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Education is power that controls success. Do you want to know the principle and educated one on how to apply those principles? Join us on Delta Women Drum Beats every Monday at 11:45 a.m.
Introducing the Drum Beat magazine coming out on the 3rd of April. Watch out!
Delta Women Drum Beat, the voice for us all.
This is Delta Women Drum Beat. If you're just joining us, the topic is teenage pregnancy and our focus is the youth and the church. And I have Pastor Rume Akbona to do justice to the topic. Don't forget to send in your contributions or call our number 090-321-74129, 081-230-27972. And I have Pastor Rume Akbona to do justice to the topic. Pastor, should sex be discussed in church as it affects the youth?
Sex is a vital aspect of life. It is the major instrument for procreation, and it's a source of pleasure for married couples. Sex is only for married couples and not for those engaged in illicit relationships. Since it's a vital aspect of life, it's an issue that the church should discuss. It's an issue that the church should feel free to talk about. After all, the Bible says that the church is the ground and pillar of truth. It's a way of the church too arising to their responsibility, as an agent of social change.
You made mention of sex is a vital part of life and it should be for married couples. So what you're trying to tell us that the youth, they are exempted out of it?
Yeah, youths that are not married have no business with sex.
Okay, so it should be discussed in church with the youth, but not for them to indulge in the heart.
There's this popular saying that what you don't know, you'll be afraid of. What you don't know, you'll be anxious about. And what you don't know, you'll be suspicious about. The church should discuss it. It's not an issue that we should shy away from. I should say too that the church may not discuss it over the pulpit. The issue of sex can be discussed with youths at special youth programs, then maybe at counseling levels.
Why some churches against sex discussion among youth and teenagers? Because we're looking at teenage pregnancy and it starts from somewhere.
Okay, I think it has to do with the problem of being too religious.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong. If it is properly channeled, if it is discussed under the right atmosphere, there's nothing wrong in the church discussing sex. It is necessary because, like I said earlier, the church is the ground and pillar of truth. Bible says that know the truth and the truth shall make you free. The youth, if they know all that they need to know about sex, I think they will be in a better position to handle it safely.
With that, I believe a lot of listeners out there would have something to say to us. So don't forget to send in your contributions to our number 090-321-74129, 081-230-27972, and on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Delta Women Drum Beat to leave your message.
Education is power that controls success. Do you want to know their principle and educating one on how to apply those principles? Join us on Delta Women Drum Beats every Monday at 11:45 a.m.
Introducing the Drum Beat magazine coming out on the 3rd of April. Watch out!
Delta Women Drum Beat, the voice for us all.
Welcome back to the program. Our topic is teenage pregnancy. Last week, we looked at the role of the mother, and today we are looking at the youth and the church. I still have Pastor Rume Akpona with me, and he has been talking about the topic right from the beginning of the program. So, Pastor, what is the role of the pastor in the life of the youth?
The pastor is saddled with the responsibility of spiritual leadership. The word pastor is actually from the word pastoral, which has to do with being a shepherd or taking care of a flock or a herd of cattle. So a pastor is an icon. It should be a role model to the youth. The youth should be able to look up to the pastor and see what they want to become. So the pastor should be exemplary. It should be friendly, and it should be accommodating. The youths should be free to come around the pastor. They should be free to ask him questions.
Don't you feel these youth, when they have issues that bother them and it relates to sex, do you think they can easily walk to the pastor and talk to them? Because a lot of pastors have protocols.
Now, it is said that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. As pastors, if we must have people that will take over from us, then we should treat the youths with some endearment. Most youths, they actually go to the wrong places for advice. They pick up wrong mentors. That's because the right people are not available for them. And if the pastor sees himself as such, as a role model, sees himself as a personality that the youth look up to, it should be, as much as possible, be available. It should create the enabling environment. It should not cut the impression, of somebody who is up there and the youths, are minors who are down there. Because life is a transition from generation to generation. There's a popular saying that a success without a successor is a failure. Since we are the ones pulling the shots today in the church, we should give the youth the impression that, see, we are together. You can, walk up to me if you have any challenge. And you see that if the youth has somebody they can confide in, if there's somebody there that they can look up to, most of the things they indulge in will be minimized. As well, like the issue of teenage pregnancy.
Yes. If
a young girl is under pressure for sex from a male, and the young girl knows that there's somebody she can easily discuss the issue with, I think it will reduce the problem. The issue of sex, it may not be discussed in the open church. It may not be discussed with the large general congregation.
Okay.
But when you have programs for youths.
Okay, so it's only on special programs it should be discussed, not for the general congregation.
During counseling sessions.
All right, that is a good one from Pastor Rume Akpona. You can be part of this program by sending your message to our numbers and telling us what you want us to talk about and your challenges wherever you find yourself right now. It is Delta Women's Drum Beat. The topic is teenage pregnancy, and our focus today is the youth and the church. Pastor Rume Akpona is here with me in the studio. Who should the youth meet to discuss issues that bother on sex?
First, the parents. They used to say that the home is the first school and the parents are the first teacher of the child. So when such issues crop up in the minds of the youth, the young ones, is the parents they should discuss it with. Parents should be open enough. You know, they should not rebuke or reprimand their children when they ask questions that border on sex. They should educate the child, lay it all bare. Let the child know what sex is. Allow the child to know the purpose for sex, you know, and tell the child the implications of premarital sex. Apart from the parent, the school, the child should be able to look up to the teacher. You know, fortunately, sometimes the teachers don't have time for that. Schools should have counseling units. You know, they should have guidance counselor that the child can go to when they have such issues. Then, of course, the church, pastors and other leaders in church.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So what is your suggestion to the church and advice to the youth?
Well, like I said before, the church is a major agent of social change. The church should arise to this responsibility. A lot of churches, they are not accommodating in their doctrine.
Oh, what, just too spiritual?
Too spiritual. It's not even being spiritual. It's being too religious. You know, that to the extent that they ignore basic issues of life. The church should be like a light to the young ones who are coming up. You know, for example, in a case where the home fails.
Yes.
You know, the school fails. The church will be able to look up to the church. You know, so that's my suggestion to the church. And then to the youth, they should be ready to learn. They should be ready to copy good examples. You know, they should be unassuming. If they see somebody that will advise them, they should see it as a privilege. They should be open to rebuke.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Rume Akpona. It's indeed a great section on the program Delta Women Drumbeat. As we have come to the end of today's edition, do keep another date with me on Monday morning by 11:45 a.m. Don't forget to send in your contributions or what you want us to talk about. 090-321-74129, 081-230-27972, and on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Delta Women Drumbeat to leave your message. You can also listen to our past episode on YouTube at Delta Women Drumbeat or www.facebook.com/Delta Women Drumbeat. On behalf of my producer, Delta Women NGO CEO SC Ijerogun Reed, and the Delta Women team volunteers, I'm Joy Asai. Be a youth with an example and have a great week. Bye for now.